together. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to introduce Mary Ann, here she is, who has lived through a socialist and is raised in a socialist nation, and tell you a little bit about that experience, and give her a warm welcome.
Hi everybody, I'm going to scare you a little bit, and it's good because then you know that you don't want it. My short story, what I'm going to tell you, is about healthcare in a socialist country, what you don't want, and how my mother, well, we lost her because of it. My mother lived in an assisted living home. She had there her own room and everything. And, you know, she was 85 years old. And she went to the common room and they mopped the floor. And my mother fell on her head. Well, I live here. My sister lives 5 minutes from my mother in the Netherlands. They didn't even call my sister. So the next day my sister went to visit my mother, and there was my mother in bed, and she didn't respond. And then they said, oh, she fell yesterday. And my sister said, did you call a doctor or whatever? No, we don't do that anymore, because once you are in a home in the government system, you belong to that. She was over 83. But we are taking very good care of her. They didn't give her a drip. My mother was healthier than you and I together. And they didn't do anything because they were not going to spend a penny on her. My sister called me straight away. I flew home because they said they were going to start morphine the next day. They were letting her go with dignity. So I flew home. As soon as I entered the house or the home where my mother lived, we had to meet with the director to talk about her funeral. And I said, why? She's not even dead yet. And they said, well, we really need the room. There is a waiting list. He said, we're starting, you know, with the pills. It's all dignity. She will not feel anything. She had a wonderful life. I said, how do you know my mother had a wonderful life? My mother lived through 2 wars. She was in the resistance. She was in a camp. I said, how do you know what my mother's life was? And I was so angry, I walked out there. Okay, it didn't take 24 hours. It took my mother 3.5 weeks, like Terry Chavez, to die. Then, because she didn't get food, she didn't get drink, it was 3.5 weeks. I think when she really died, she was 80 pounds, and it was horrible. Believe me, you don't want it. Is that understand? So keep up the fight.